The problem with these EV trucks is that they just can't tow anything. They lose all their range. There's no sense in even having one of these if you're going to do some towing. At least that's the misconception we're here to prove wrong today. You can see I'm hooked up to the pontoon boat. And if you've ever towed a pontoon boat, you know, while they're fairly lightweight, they are not easy to tow. They are big, huge wind dams behind you. It's like towing a sail behind you or a big parachute. This is a 2011 Sun Tracker 21-foot party barge. So 21 foot's misleading. The boat itself is actually 22 foot. Then you've got the outboard motor on the back, the tongue in the front. So the total length of this trailer is about 30 feet long. And the total weight of the trailer with the gas that's in it, the motor that's on it, the stuff that's in the boat, and the boat is about 3,500 to 4,000 pounds. Today's test, we're not just going down the road to the lake 5 to 10 miles away. I've watched lots of videos like that. Obviously, our Lightning Lariat EV with the extended range could do that easily. We started out with this charged up to 100%. It showed 318-ish miles, I believe. Then I programmed in, because there's a really cool program system you can put onto the Lightning to tell it all about the trailer you're towing. So I said it's a pontoon boat. I said the length, I said the weight, I said the height, I said the width. All those calculations changed our maximum range to about 210 miles. The place that we're going, Conneaut Lake, Pennsylvania, is about 45 miles, a 1 hour drive away. So I think this is a good test of maybe more realistic use of a Lightning to tow a pontoon boat. I don't live close to water, obviously. It's an hour away from my house. So we're all connected up. The settings are made inside the truck. Like I said, it thinks we have 210 miles, but it will learn as we go. It's a really smart system. You know, people say you can't tow with the Lightning. We're going to find that out. I'll tell you that actually the Lightning itself, the power tows really well. You've got all that horsepower, all that torque. It does a great job. People's concern is always about the range. The tests I've seen people do, it's like 10 miles to the lake. This time we're doing an hour drive to the lake. And this will be a kind of a real world test of if you had a pontoon boat that rides like a sail behind you, how many miles can you get with your Ford Lightning EV? Here you can see I've got the settings on. Trailer name, type conventional. Towed 0 miles with this trailer. So I am using one pedal drive, indicated right down here. So that will do a lot of the braking for us. And then we will, also don't forget about the connection checklist. I mentioned this in a previous video, so that's always really helpful. And we're going to use this trip on here, and I'm going to use my Apple Maps from my phone that'll tell me how much range we have estimated by the time we get there. So let's connect here. 1 hour, 1 minute, it's estimating.
Starting route to the navigation company. You should arrive with an 86% battery charge.
So there it shows I'm going to arrive at 1:30 with 86% battery. Now that's going to adjust as we drive, as it learns the weight and the air flow around the trailer. Here we go. So you can see the boat is quite a bit wider than the F150 in comparison to the F350. The F350 is actually almost as wide as the boat. The boat's still a little bit wider than the truck, but not quite as much differential as this. You also can tell a difference, having towed the pontoon boat many times with our 1-ton truck, in the feel of the boat behind the truck. Right now we're in a 1/2-ton F150, so obviously there's going to be a little bit of a different feel as far as what the trailer feels like behind the truck. I can definitely feel it more in the Lightning than I can in our F350. Not that this doesn't have enough power. This has tons and tons of power, easily tows it. Now we've gone 6.5 miles mostly flat and been about 1.0 miles per kilowatt hour. We're now going down a pretty good grade, and it's going to regen the entire time down this grade. So it's currently regenning the entire way down here without me touching the brakes. And that's one of the things I really like about the Lightning in tow haul mode. I'm not even braking at all, and I can slow the truck and the trailer down going down this hill and regen using the 1-pedal drive. So now we're up to 1.3 miles per kilowatt hour. Now I've seen videos about someone taking their boat to the lake behind their Lightning, and they said, okay, we've got a 7 or 10 mile trip to the lake. And I thought, well, yeah, I would hope it can tow at 7 to 10 miles. The real test is, can it tow at an hour or an hour and a half? So hopefully this video better answers that question of towing further than just short distance to the lake. So far, with 18 miles left to go, we are showing 185 miles remaining in our display here.
In 3.3 miles, keep left.
We've gone just about 26 miles in 50 minutes, and our average is 1.1 mile per kilometer hour. You can see over here on our map, our arrival time is still about the same, but our battery percent charge upon arrival is down to 78. So we're using more electricity per mile than what the truck had originally predicted. Jennifer, if you want to click on the This Trip button. So here's our stats for the trip so far. You can see it is 87 degrees out. Temperature shows right up here. And we've used 3% of the battery power on climate, so we've got the air conditioner on. 95% on driving, and then 2% on accessories. And it also shows up here 26.5 miles, 50 minutes, 1.2 miles per kilowatt hour average. Jennifer, if you want to push the towing button. So this should be information about towing the, maybe it doesn't tell you while you're the passenger. So that's going to keep track of every single time we tow the pontoon boat, what it calculates the range for full charge would be, how many miles we put on the pontoon boat. So that's a really cool thing, and it's going to keep track of that for every trailer we tow independently. So I've got the 6x12 CarMate on the truck as a setup trailer. I'll have the jet ski on the truck as a setup trailer. We'll have the pontoon boat. So that's really awesome that it keeps track of all those things by trailer for your trips. So here's our trip, 43.9 miles, 1 hour 18 minutes. We averaged 1.2 mile per kilowatt hour. If we go down to the charging thing, or I'm sorry, the towing thing here, Sun Tracker Party Barge, total of 42 miles. Trailer range per full charge is estimating 188.2 miles is what we would get towing this trailer the entire time. Over here you can see it's the same status over here. Shows we've got 158 miles of range left. We were charged to 100. We have 73% battery left, and then the same this trip data. We were in tow haul mode, but now we've got the trailer where it needs to go. We're going to drop it off and we'll be able to drive home. I'll put in here the last little bit of our trip. It did estimate, it was clear down to 70% of battery life when we arrived, and we actually arrived at 73%.
And it had estimated 87 or 86.
Yeah, when we started out, it had estimated in the high 80s. We ended up at 73.
But this is the first time
First time learning, the truck is learning what the pontoon boat is behind us. It's a lot of air flow around that boat. It's wider than the truck, taller than the truck, so it's not unexpected. And I'm actually not too worried about 1.2 miles per kilowatt hour. I was thinking we'd be around 1.0. 1.2 isn't far different from what was for the 6x12 enclosed trailer, and this is a lot wider, a lot heavier, a lot taller than that.
why you were towing it.
No. So we did put the cover on after towing. It probably would cut back a little bit on the wind resistance having the cover on it while you're towing, but we've noticed that if 1 or 2 snaps comes unsnapped while you're towing, then it really makes the cover move around back there, and it's not worth the risk of it tearing behind the truck. So we usually take the cover off for towing, put the cover back on once we reached our destination. Okay. Disconnected. This is here for a repair on the steering cable, we believe. Steering is really hard on that 60 horse just all of a sudden this summer. It was fine last year. This year it's a struggle to get it to turn side to side fast. So if you're doing any tubing or anything like that, it's an arm workout. So we're gonna see if it's the steering cable. I'm hoping probably a couple $100 repair versus something else. The other thing we're gonna get a price on is if we'd upgrade this to a 90 horse, how much that would cost. We did leave the truck running because Olive was still in here and needed the air conditioning. But you can see as soon as we disconnected the electrical for the trailer, it went back to regular, no more tow haul mode, adjusted back our mileage range to 228 miles remaining without towing. So now this is going to work its way up until we turn the truck off. It would reset for this trip. But I think we'll probably go ahead and just leave it on, and we'll let that work its way back up to over 2 miles per kilowatt hour.
So it knows we're not towing anymore.
It knows now that we're not towing anymore. So we've made it home now. Total excursion was 3 hours, 8 minutes, 88 miles, and our average was 1.6. Remember, we were 1.2 after taking the boat over, and our trip back didn't gain us as much as I thought. I was hoping we'd be back up to 2. There's our stats. You can see we made it home with 59% left on the battery and 175 miles of range. So hopefully that answers the question of, can you tow a pontoon boat with your Lightning, and is the Lightning good at towing? Olive says too long of a trip. Thanks for watching. If you found this video informative and entertaining, give us a big thumbs up. Leave those comments down below. Hopefully we'll see you again the next time. Back home, charging up for our next adventure. Second trip with the pontoon boat, 55.5 miles, averaged 1.0 kilometer per hour. We did travel on the interstate this trip rather than some of the side roads, averaged 1.0.